My father just slammed his fist on the dinner table so hard the wine glasses shook. My mother is crying. My older brother Marcus is shaking his head in disgust. My younger sister Vanessa just called me heartless, and my youngest brother Brian is staring at me like I'm a stranger. All because I said no to lending my parents $5,000. $5,000 to fix their roof. A roof that apparently has some leak. A leak that apparently needs immediate attention. A leak that apparently only I can help pay for because according to my father, I'm the only one in this family who has money and refuses to share it. You're selfish, Amanda. My father says, his face red. You've always been selfish. Ever since you moved to Seattle and got that fancy tech job, you forgot where you came from. You forgot about family. My mother nods, dabbing her eyes with a napkin. We raised you. We sacrificed for you. And now when we need help, you turn your back on us. Marcus, my older brother, jumps in. I help them all the time. I just gave them $2,000 last month for the furnace. Vanessa helps with groceries every week. Brian mows their lawn and does repairs. What do? You come to Sunday dinner, eat their food, and contribute nothing. I could tell them. Right now, I could tell them exactly what I contribute. I could tell them the truth that I've been hiding for 5 years, the secret I've kept because I didn't want credit, didn't want attention, didn't want to make it a thing. I just wanted to help quietly. But something stops me. Maybe it's pride. Maybe it's curiosity. Maybe I want to see how far they'll go, how much they'll pile on before I drop the bomb that will change everything. So I say nothing. I just stand up, grab my coat, and walk out. Behind me, I hear my mother say, "See? She doesn't even care enough to argue. She just leaves." I get in my car and drive back to my apartment in downtown Portland. It's Sunday, March 10th, 2025, and I just left my family's house for what might be the last time as their secret benefactor. Because after tonight, after being called selfish in front of everyone, after being accused of contributing nothing, I'm done hiding the truth. Tomorrow, they're going to find out exactly what I've been contributing, and it's going to destroy everything they think they know. Let me back up. Let me tell you how this started, how I ended up secretly paying my parents' mortgage for 5 years without them knowing, how I became the invisible financial backbone of a family that thinks I'm selfish, and how it all came crashing down in the most spectacular way possible. My name is Amanda Chen. I'm 32 years old. I'm a senior software engineer at a major tech company in Portland, Oregon. I make $175,000 a year. I'm single, no kids, and I live in a nice one-bedroom apartment downtown. I drive a modest Honda Civic. I don't wear designer clothes. I don't take expensive vacations. I live well below my means. My family doesn't know how much I make. They know I work in tech. They know I do okay, but they don't know the real numbers because I've never told them. Not because I'm hiding it maliciously, but because in my family, talking about money has always been complicated. My parents, Richard and Diane Chen, are both in their early 60s. My dad worked as a postal worker for 35 years before retiring. My mom was a part-time administrative assistant. They're not wealthy, but they're not poor either. They own their house in the suburbs, a modest 3-bedroom ranch they bought in 1995 for $120,000. They raised 4 kids in that house. Me, Marcus, Vanessa, and Brian. Marcus is 35, married with 2 kids, works in sales. Vanessa is 29, engaged, works as a dental hygienist. Brian is 27, single, works in construction. We're a typical middle-class family. Sunday dinners at mom and dad's house, holidays together, the usual family dynamics. But here's what my siblings don't know. Here's what my parents don't know. Here's the secret I've been keeping for 5 years. I pay their mortgage every single month, $3,200, direct withdrawal from my account to the mortgage company, anonymous, untraceable to me, for 5 years straight. That's $192,000, nearly $200,000 that I've quietly, anonymously contributed to my parents' housing while my family calls me selfish. Let me tell you how it started. 5 years ago, March 20th, 2020, I was 27 years old. I'd been working at my tech job for 2 years. I was making good money, had paid off my student loans, had savings building up. Life was good. I went to Sunday dinner like always, and I noticed my parents seemed stressed, tense, whispering to each other in the kitchen. After dinner, I was helping my mom with dishes when she broke down crying. I asked what was wrong. She said they were in trouble, financial trouble. My dad's retirement wasn't as much as they'd expected. Their savings had taken a hit in the stock market. And their mortgage, which they'd refinanced a few years earlier to pay for Brian's college tuition, was more than they could afford on their fixed income. "We're 3 months behind," my mom whispered. "The bank is threatening foreclosure. We might lose the house." My heart dropped. Lose the house? The house I grew up in? The house where every Christmas, every birthday, every family memory happened? I asked how much they needed. She said they needed to catch up on the missed payments, about $9,000, and then they needed to figure out how to afford the monthly payment going forward, which was $3,200 a month. I did quick math in my head. I was making about $130,000 at the time. After taxes and expenses, I could easily cover their mortgage. Easily. It would barely touch my lifestyle. "I'll help," I said immediately. My mom looked at me with such relief. "Oh, honey, we can't ask you to do that. You're not asking, I'm offering. Let me cover the missed payments, and let me help with the monthly payment until you get back on your feet." We worked out an arrangement. I'd pay their mortgage directly to the bank, anonymous payment. They wouldn't even know it was coming from me specifically. I told my mom to tell my dad that she'd worked out a loan modification with the bank, that the payments were temporarily reduced, that they had breathing room. My mom was reluctant. "Amanda, this is too much. You can't pay our mortgage." "Mom, I can. I have the money. I don't have kids. I don't have a mortgage of my own. Let me do this. Please." She agreed. But she made me promise not to tell anyone. Not my siblings. Not even my dad. She said my dad would be too proud to accept it if he knew. He'd refuse. He'd rather lose the house than take money from his daughter. So we kept it secret. I set up automatic payments. Every month, $3,200 went from my account to their mortgage company. My mom told my dad that she'd negotiated a better rate with the bank. He believed her. The foreclosure threat went away. Life went back to normal. Except it didn't go back to normal for me, because I was now paying my parents' mortgage, and I couldn't tell anyone. That first year was fine. I was happy to help, glad I could prevent them from losing their house. It felt good to support my parents who'd supported me growing up. But then year 2 started, and things began to change. My parents' financial situation didn't improve. My dad's retirement income stayed the same. My mom wasn't working anymore. They still needed help with the mortgage, so I kept paying. Month after month, $3,200, automated, invisible. And meanwhile, at family dinners, I started hearing comments, little digs, small criticisms, my siblings talking about how much they helped mom and dad, how Marcus had paid for a new water heater, how Vanessa bought groceries every week, how Brian did yard work and repairs, and the unspoken question, what does Amanda do? I wanted to say, I pay their entire mortgage. I'm keeping this house from foreclosure, but I'd promised my mom I wouldn't tell anyone, so I stayed quiet. Year 3, the comments got worse, more pointed, more frequent. Family gatherings became uncomfortable. My siblings started treating me like I was the selfish one, the one who escaped to her tech job in the city and forgot about her family, the one who makes good money but never shares. I almost told them so many times, almost blurted out the truth, but every time I saw my mom, she'd give me this look, a pleading look. Don't tell, keep the secret, protect your father's pride. So I did. I kept quiet, kept paying, kept absorbing the criticism. Year 4, things escalated. My parents started asking my siblings for money more frequently. Small amounts, 100 here, 500 there, car repairs, medical bills, house maintenance. My siblings, being good children, helped, and every time they helped, they'd mention it at dinner, make sure everyone knew they were contributing. And I sat there silent, paying $3,200 a month, nearly $40,000 a year, saying nothing. By year 5, which is now, March 2025, I've paid $192,000 toward my parents' mortgage, nearly $200,000, more than the original price of the house. And tonight, at Sunday dinner, my father called me selfish. The irony is almost funny. Almost. Let me tell you what happened at that dinner in more detail, because the context matters. The full story matters. I arrived at my parents' house at 5 p.m. like I do every Sunday. My siblings were already there. Marcus with his wife Jennifer and their 2 kids, Vanessa with her fiancé Tom, Brian by himself. Everyone gathered in the living room, kids playing, adults chatting. My mom was in the kitchen cooking. I went to help her like always. She looked stressed. I asked if everything was okay. She said fine, just tired. I didn't push. We sat down for dinner at 6. Pot roast, mashed potatoes, green beans, my mom's standard Sunday meal. Everyone eating, talking, the usual family chaos. Then my dad cleared his throat. That's his signal that he has something to say. Everyone got quiet. So, your mother and I need to talk to you all about something, he said. My mom looked uncomfortable. She didn't meet my eyes. My dad continued, "We have a situation with the house. The roof has a leak. We got it inspected and it needs significant repairs. $5,000. Marcus immediately said, "I can contribute 1,000. Vanessa said, "Tom and I can do 500. Brian said, "I'm tight right now, but I can probably do 300. Everyone looked at me. I didn't say anything immediately. I was doing math in my head. I pay $3,200 a month for their mortgage, $38,400 a year. And now they want me to pay for the roof too? My dad said, "Amanda, can you help?" I should have just said yes, should have written the check, should have kept the peace. But something in me snapped. Some part of me that had been paying silently for 5 years while being called selfish finally had enough. "No," I said simply. The table went silent. My mother's face went pale. "No?" my father repeated. "No, I can't help with the roof." "Can't or won't?" Marcus asked, his voice sharp. "Won't," I said, meeting his eyes. That's when my father slammed his fist on the table. That's when he called me selfish. That's when my mother started crying. That's when my siblings piled on. That's when everything exploded. Marcus said I was ungrateful, said Mom and Dad raised me, put me through college, and this is how I repay them. Said I make tech money and can't spare $5,000 for a roof. Said I'm an embarrassment. Vanessa said I've always been like this, self-centered, only care about my own comfort, live in my fancy downtown apartment while Mom and Dad struggle. Said she's ashamed to call me her sister. Brian just shook his head in disgust, didn't even speak to me, just looked at me like I was trash. My mother kept crying, saying she didn't raise me to be like this. My father said I've forgotten my roots, forgotten where I came from. Said the tech world changed me, made me cold, made me selfish. I sat there taking it all, every word, every accusation, every disappointed look, and I thought about the $192,000 sitting in mortgage payments. Thought about the 5 years of silence, thought about all the times I could have defended myself but didn't out of respect for my mother's wishes. And I made a decision. I was done protecting their pride, done being the secret hero, done being called selfish while I quietly saved their house. I stood up, grabbed my coat, and left. Didn't say a word, just walked out. That was 12 hours ago. It's Monday morning now, March 11th, 2025. I'm sitting at my desk at work, and I'm about to do something I should have done years ago. I'm going to tell them the truth. I open my email, start a group message to my parents and siblings, attach 5 years of bank statements showing the mortgage payments, attach the original agreement I made with my mom, attach everything. The email reads, "Since I'm selfish and never help the family, I thought you should see what I actually contribute." Attached are 5 years of mortgage payments. $192,000, paid anonymously to keep Dad from losing the house. You're welcome, Amanda. I hover over the send button. My hand is shaking. This will destroy everything. Family dinners will never be the same. My relationship with my siblings will be permanently damaged. My mother will never forgive me for breaking our secret. But I'm tired. Tired of being the villain in a story where I'm actually the hero. Tired of protecting everyone else's feelings while mine are trampled. Tired of silence. I click send. The email goes out at 9:37 a.m. I close my laptop, stand up, walk to the break room, pour coffee. My hands are still shaking. By 10 a.m., my phone starts ringing. My mom, I don't answer. Marcus, don't answer. Vanessa, don't answer. My dad, don't answer. Text messages start flooding in. My mom, Amanda, please call me. Please, we need to talk. Marcus, is this real? Did you really pay all that? Vanessa, why didn't you tell us? I don't respond to any of them. I turn off my phone, go back to work, bury myself in code, try to pretend my entire family dynamic didn't just explode. At lunch, my manager asks if I'm okay. I tell her I'm fine. She doesn't believe me but doesn't push. I appreciate that. At 5 p.m., I leave work, turn my phone back on. 73 missed calls, 42 text messages, 3 voicemails. I listen to the voicemails on my drive home. The first is from my mother. She's crying, barely coherent. Amanda, honey, please. I'm so sorry. Please call me back. Please, we need to fix this. The second is from Marcus. His voice is different, subdued, ashamed. Amanda, it's Marcus. I saw the statements. I had no idea. I'm sorry for what I said last night. I'm really sorry. Can we talk? The third is from my father. He's not crying. He's not yelling. His voice is flat, defeated. Amanda, I saw what you did, what you've been doing. I don't know what to say. Call me when you can. I delete all 3 voicemails, drive home, sit in my apartment, order takeout, eat alone, try to process what I've just done. The truth is out. The secret that protected my family for 5 years is destroyed, and I don't know if I made the right choice or just blew up my entire life for nothing. But here's what I do know. I'm done being silent, done being the scapegoat, done paying for a family that calls me selfish. Starting today, the mortgage payments stop. Let me tell you what happened in the days after I sent that email, because the fallout was immediate and catastrophic. Tuesday morning, March 12th, my mother shows up at my apartment. She's somehow got past building security. Probably told them she's my mom and it's an emergency. She knocks on my door at 7 a.m. I'm getting ready for work. I answer. She looks terrible. Eyes swollen from crying, hair uncombed, wearing the same clothes from Sunday dinner. She looks like she hasn't slept. Amanda, she says, her voice breaking. Please, let me explain. I let her in. Not because I want to, but because I can't shut the door in my mother's face. She sits on my couch and just cries for 5 minutes. I don't comfort her, I just stand there waiting. Finally, she speaks. I never meant for it to go this far. When you first offered to help, I thought it would be temporary. A few months, maybe a year, just until we got back on our feet. I didn't think it would be 5 years. But it was 5 years, I say. I know. And I should have told your father. Should have told your siblings. But every time I tried, I couldn't. Your father is so proud, Amanda. You know how he is. If he knew you were paying the mortgage, he'd feel like a failure, like he couldn't provide for his own family. So instead, you let him call me selfish? She flinches. I didn't think he'd say that. I didn't think any of them would treat you that way. I thought they'd just see you as independent, as successful. I didn't realize they'd resent you for it. Well, they did. For years, Mom. Years of comments. Years of being treated like I don't care about this family. And you knew the truth the whole time. You knew I was paying thousands every month, and you said nothing. I'm sorry, she whispers. I'm so sorry. Sorry doesn't fix 5 years of being called selfish. Sorry doesn't give me back the family dinners where I sat there being criticized while secretly keeping you from foreclosure. Sorry doesn't undo last night. My mother looks at me with desperate eyes. What do you want me to do? Tell me. I'll do anything. I want you to tell them the truth. The real truth. Not just about the money. About why you kept it secret. About why you let them treat me that way. I want you to take responsibility for your part in this. She nods, still crying. I will. I'll tell them everything, I promise. And I want the payments to stop. I'm done paying the mortgage. Her face goes white. Amanda, we can't afford it without you. That's not my problem anymore. You have 3 other children who apparently help all the time. Let them cover it. Or downsize. Sell the house. Figure it out. But I'm done. Please don't do this. We'll lose the house. You should have thought about that before you let Dad call me selfish. I walk to my door. Open it. You need to leave, Mom. I have to get to work. She stands, walks slowly to the door, turns back. I love you, Amanda. I know I messed up, but I love you. I know, I say. But love isn't enough when you've been protecting everyone else at my expense for 5 years. She leaves. I close the door, lean against it, and finally, let myself cry. Wednesday, March 13th. Marcus calls. I actually answer this time. Amanda, it's Marcus. Can we meet, please? I need to talk to you in person. I agree to meet him for coffee near my office. Neutral territory. Public place. He's already there when I arrive. Sitting at a corner table, 2 coffees ordered. He stands when he sees me. Looks nervous. We sit. He slides 1 coffee toward me. I got you a latte. I remembered you like them. Thanks, I say flatly. He takes a deep breath. I was an asshole. Sunday night. And for years before that, I was an asshole, and I'm sorry. Okay. I saw the statements you sent. All of them. I went through every single month. $192,000, Amanda. You've been paying their mortgage for 5 years, and none of us knew. Mom knew. Yeah, I talked to her. She told me everything. About Dad's pride, about keeping it secret, about how she asked you not to tell anyone. He runs his hand through his hair. I can't believe she let us treat you like that. Believe it. I'm serious, Amanda. If I'd known, I never would have said those things. Never would have called you selfish. Never would have given you shit about not contributing. You were contributing more than all of us combined. And yet you did say those things. For years. You and Vanessa and Brian, you all treated me like I was the selfish one. The one who forgot about family. The one who only cared about myself. I know. And I was wrong. Completely wrong. Why did you think that? Why were you all so ready to believe I was selfish? Marcus is quiet for a moment. Then he says something that surprises me, because it was easier than looking at ourselves. You moved away. You got a good job. You're successful and independent. And the rest of us, we're kind of stuck. I'm in sales, barely making ends meet with 2 kids. Vanessa's working paycheck to paycheck. Brian can barely keep his construction job steady. And there you are, living in a nice apartment, driving a reliable car, seemingly having it all together. So, you resented me? Yeah, I think we did. Not consciously. But yeah, it was easier to think you were selfish than to admit we were jealous. I don't know what to say to that. The honesty surprises me. Marcus continues. And Mom and Dad, they never corrected us. Never defended you. They'd say things like, Amanda's busy, or Amanda has her own life, but they never said Amanda is actually paying our entire mortgage. So we filled in the gaps with our own narrative. And that narrative was that you didn't care. I cared, I say quietly. I cared so much that I paid nearly $200,000 to keep them from losing their house. I know, and I'm sorry. Really sorry. Not just for Sunday night, for all of it. We sit in silence for a minute. Then Marcus says, What can I do to make this right? I don't know if you can. What if we start paying you back? Me, Vanessa, and Brian. We could pool our money, pay you back over time. I don't want your money, Marcus. I never did this for money. I did it to help Mom and Dad, because I could. because I thought it was the right thing to do. Then what do you want? I want to not be called selfish. I want to not be criticized at every family dinner. I want my family to actually see me instead of the story they made up about me. Okay, that's fair. That's more than fair. And I want to stop paying the mortgage. Effective immediately. Marcus nods slowly. Mom told me. She's freaking out about it. Not my problem. What if we all pitch in? Me, Vanessa, Brian. We could each take a portion, like 1,000 each or something. You just said you're barely making ends meet. Yeah, but if it means keeping Mom and Dad from losing the house, I'd figure it out. I shake my head. They won't lose the house, Marcus. They're not as broke as they claim. Dad has his pension, Mom has Social Security, they have retirement savings, they can afford the mortgage. They just don't want to dip into their savings. Marcus looks surprised. How do you know that? Because I asked Mom about their finances 5 years ago before I started paying. They weren't about to be foreclosed. They were behind on payments, yeah, but they had options. They chose to let me pay instead of downsizing or using their savings because it was easier. So they've been using you? I wouldn't say using, but they definitely took advantage of my willingness to help. Marcus sits back, processing this. Wow, I didn't know any of this. None of you did. That was the point. He looks at me seriously. What do you want to happen now? With the family? Honestly, I don't know. I'm tired, Marcus. Tired of being the bad guy. Tired of being invisible. I think I need space from all of you. How much space? I don't know. Months? Maybe longer? Will you come to Easter? No. What about Dad's birthday? No. Amanda, come on. We can fix this. Can we? Can you really fix 5 years of resentment and criticism? Can you take back all the comments about me being selfish? Can you make Vanessa stop treating me like I'm heartless? Can you make Brian talk to me again? Marcus doesn't have an answer for that. I stand up. Thanks for the coffee and for the apology. I mean that, but I need time. How much time? I'll let you know. I leave him sitting there, walk back to my office, and I feel lighter. Not happy, but lighter. Thursday, March 14th. Vanessa shows up at my office. The receptionist calls me and says my sister is here. I tell her I'm busy. Vanessa apparently refuses to leave, sits in the lobby, waits. At lunch, I go down to the lobby. She's still there, sitting on the uncomfortable waiting room chairs, scrolling her phone. Vanessa. She looks up, stands. Amanda, please, just 5 minutes. We go to a nearby park, sit on a bench. March in Portland is cold and drizzly. She shivers in her thin jacket. I'm sorry, she says immediately. I'm so sorry for what I said Sunday, and for all the other times. Marcus told me what he learned from Mom about the mortgage, about the money, about everything. Okay, why didn't you tell us? Mom asked me not to, but for 5 years, you just let us think you were selfish? I thought it was temporary. I thought by the time it became permanent, it wouldn't matter anymore. It mattered, Amanda. It mattered a lot. I know that now. Vanessa is quiet for a moment. Then she says, I was jealous of you. I know Marcus probably told you he was too, but I was really jealous. You have this amazing career. You make good money. You're independent. And I'm just a dental hygienist who lives with her parents because she can't afford rent. You live with Mom and Dad? For the past 2 years, Tom and I are trying to save for a wedding and a down payment on a house. We can't afford to rent and save at the same time, so we moved in with them. I didn't know this. Mom never mentioned it, because it's embarrassing. Her 29-year-old daughter living at home like a teenager. It's not embarrassing. It's smart if you're saving money. It feels embarrassing, especially when you're out there being successful and independent. Vanessa, I'm not trying to make you feel bad by being successful. I know. Logically, I know that. But emotionally, it still hurts. And instead of being happy for you, I resented you. And I took it out on you by calling you selfish and heartless. And I'm sorry. Thank you for apologizing. Are you going to forgive me? Eventually. But not right now. I need time. She nods, tears in her eyes. I understand. I deserve that. We sit in silence for a minute. Then Vanessa asks, "Are you really going to stop paying the mortgage?" "Yes." Mom's having a breakdown about it. She'll survive. What if they actually lose the house? They won't. They have options. They're choosing not to use them. What if those options aren't enough? Then maybe they downsize, sell the house, move somewhere cheaper, like everyone else does when they can't afford their mortgage. Vanessa looks shocked. You'd let them lose the house you grew up in? I already saved it. For 5 years. At the cost of nearly $200,000 and my relationship with my family, I'm done saving it. But it's our childhood home. It's a house, Vanessa. It's not worth more than my dignity. She doesn't have a response to that. We sit for a few more minutes. Then she stands. I should go. Tom's waiting for me. Okay. Will you at least think about Easter? Just coming to dinner? It won't be the same without you. It hasn't been the same for 5 years. You all just didn't notice. She walks away, crying. I stay on the bench, watch the rain, feel nothing. Friday, March 15th, my father calls. I almost don't answer, but something makes me pick up. Amanda. It's Dad. I know. Can I come see you, please? I agree to meet him at a coffee shop near his house. Not the same one I met Marcus at, a different one. I don't want him at my apartment, and I don't want to go to his house. He's already there when I arrive. Sitting at a table, hands wrapped around a coffee cup. He looks older than I remember. Grayer. More tired. I sit down across from him. Don't order anything. He looks at me for a long moment. Then he says, I owe you an apology. Okay. Not just for Sunday. For all of it. For not seeing what you were doing. For calling you selfish. For letting your siblings treat you that way. For not defending you. Why didn't you? Because I didn't know. Your mother didn't tell me about the mortgage payments. She told me she'd worked out a deal with the bank. I believed her. She told you that 5 years ago, and you never questioned it? Never wondered why the bank suddenly gave you better terms? He's quiet for a moment. Then he says something that surprises me. I did wonder, sometimes. It seemed too good to be true, but I didn't want to look too closely, because if I looked too closely, I might find out it wasn't real, and I needed it to be real. So you chose ignorance. Yes, I chose ignorance, because the alternative was admitting I couldn't afford my own house, that I'd failed as a provider, that I needed help. There's no shame in needing help, Dad. There is for me. I'm 62 years old. I worked for 35 years. I should have enough saved to retire comfortably, but I don't, because I made bad decisions. Because I refinanced the house to pay for college instead of making the kids take loans. Because I didn't save enough. Because I trusted the wrong financial advisor. Because I'm an idiot who can't manage money. This is the most vulnerable I've ever heard my father. He's not yelling. He's not defensive. He's just honest. You're not an idiot, I say quietly. Yes, I am. And now my daughter has paid nearly $200,000 to cover my mistakes. And I called her selfish. Yes, you did. I'm sorry, Amanda. I'm so sorry. We sit in silence. Then I ask, did you really not know? For 5 years? He meets my eyes. I swear I didn't. Your mother handles all the bills, all the finances. I just assume she has it under control. I should have paid more attention, but I didn't. And now that you know, now that I know, I'm ashamed and grateful, and I don't know how to reconcile those two things. What are you going to do about the mortgage? Your mother and I talked. We're going to sell the house. I'm surprised. Really? We can't afford it without your help, and we can't ask you to keep helping. Not after what we did. So we're selling. We'll buy something smaller, a condo maybe, something we can actually afford on our retirement income. When? We're listing it next week. That fast? No point dragging it out. The housing market is good right now. We should be able to sell quickly. I don't know what to say. Part of me feels relief. Part of me feels sad. That house is my childhood. Every memory I have is in that house. My father seems to read my mind. I know it's hard, it's our home, but it's just a building. The family is what matters. And I almost lost that over pride and a mortgage payment. You did lose it. For 5 years. You just didn't realize it. He nods slowly. You're right, I did. And I don't know if I can fix that, but I want to try. Will you let me try? I don't know, Dad. I really don't. What would it take for you to forgive me, to come back to family dinners, to be part of this family again? I am part of this family. I've always been part of this family. You all just didn't see it. Then help me see it. Help me see you. I look at my father, this man who raised me, who taught me to ride a bike, who walked me to school, who scared away my first boyfriend, who cried at my college graduation, and I see him differently now. Not as the strong patriarch, but as a flawed human who made mistakes. I need time, I say finally. Time to figure out if I want to keep being part of a family that treated me like this. How much time? I don't know. Months, maybe longer. He nods. I'll wait. However long it takes, we finish our coffee in silence, then he stands to leave. Pauses. Amanda, I want you to know something. I'm proud of you. I should have said that more. Should have told you how proud I am of what you've accomplished. Your career, your independence, your generosity. I'm proud, even if I never said it. Thanks, Dad. He leaves. I sit there for another hour, thinking. The next few weeks were quiet. No family dinners, no phone calls, no drama, just space. Time to breathe, time to think. The house sold in early April, 3 weeks on the market, sold for $420,000, way more than the $120,000 my parents paid in 1995. They cleared about $300,000 after paying off the remaining mortgage and closing costs. They bought a small 2-bedroom condo for $200,000, banked the rest for retirement. My mom sent me a text letting me know. I replied with a simple, "That's good." May arrived, then June, summer. I didn't go to Father's Day, didn't go to the 4th of July barbecue, didn't go to Mom's birthday. Marcus texted occasionally, asked how I was. I replied briefly, politely, but kept distance. Vanessa sent longer messages, apologies, updates on her wedding planning, invitations to coffee that I declined. She was trying. I appreciated it, but I wasn't ready. Brian never reached out. I didn't reach out to him either. Some relationships break and don't repair. Maybe that was ours. In August, I got a promotion at work. Senior staff engineer, $50,000 raise. I was making $225,000 now. I celebrated alone with takeout and Netflix. Didn't tell my family, didn't feel like sharing. September came, then October, fall in Portland, my favorite season, the leaves changing, the air getting crisp, pumpkin spice, everything. I was okay, not happy, but okay. Then in November, right before Thanksgiving, I got a letter in the mail, handwritten, from my mother. It was long, 5 pages, front and back. She wrote about everything, about how sorry she was, about how she never meant for it to go the way it did, about how she thought she was protecting my father's pride but realized she was sacrificing my dignity, about how she missed me, about how the family wasn't the same without me. And at the end, she wrote, "You don't have to forgive me. You don't have to come to Thanksgiving. You don't have to have a relationship with any of us. But I need you to know that I see you now. I see what you did, I see who you are, and I'm grateful. Even if I'll never get to tell you in person. Love, Mom." I read that letter 3 times, cried the 3rd time, put it in a drawer, didn't respond. Thanksgiving came and went. I spent it with friends. Friendsgiving. It was nice, different, but nice. December arrived, Christmas approaching. I was dreading it. The first Christmas not with family, the first Christmas alone. Then on December 20th, I got a text from Marcus. "Amanda, I know you probably won't come, but we're having Christmas Eve at my house this year. Small, just immediate family. No pressure, no expectations, But if you wanted to come, even for an hour, we'd all really like to see you. No judgment if you don't, Marcus. I stared at that text for 2 days. Didn't respond, didn't know what to say. Christmas Eve arrived, December 24th, 2025. 9 months since the dinner that changed everything. 9 months of silence. 9 months of space. I drove to Marcus's house, sat in my car outside for 20 minutes, almost left 3 times. Finally got up the courage to walk to the door. I knocked. Marcus answered. His face lit up. Amanda, you came. I came. Inside, the house was decorated. Tree in the corner, lights everywhere, smells of dinner cooking. My parents were there. Vanessa and Tom, Brian. Everyone stopped talking when I walked in, just stared. My mother started crying immediately. Came over, hugged me. I let her. My father stood back, respecting my space, but his eyes were wet. Vanessa waved awkwardly. Tom smiled. Brian nodded. We sat down for dinner. Awkward at first, no one knowing what to say. Then Marcus broke the ice, started telling a story about his kids. Everyone relaxed a little. Dinner was good. Ham, potatoes, the usual. We ate. We talked about safe topics, work, weather, Vanessa's wedding plans. After dinner, we moved to the living room. Marcus put on a Christmas movie, Home Alone, classic. We sat watching it in comfortable silence. During a commercial break, my father cleared his throat. Amanda, I want to say something. We all do. Everyone turned to look at me. I tensed. My father continued, we've spent the last 9 months thinking about what happened, about what we did to you, about the mortgage, about calling you selfish, about treating you like you didn't matter. And we want you to know that we understand now. We understand what you sacrificed, what you gave up, and we're sorry. All of us. Marcus nodded. I'm sorry. Vanessa said, I'm so sorry, Amanda. Brian, quiet for months, finally spoke. I'm sorry too. My mother was crying again. I'm sorry, honey, for all of it. I looked at all of them. My family, flawed, complicated, but mine. I appreciate the apologies, I said carefully. I do, but apologies don't fix 5 years. They don't undo the hurt. They don't make me forget. We know, my father said. We're not asking you to forget. We're asking for a chance to do better. What does that look like? It looks like us seeing you, really seeing you, not taking you for granted, not making assumptions, treating you with the respect you deserve. And if you slip up, if old patterns come back, then you call us out and we do better next time. I thought about it, thought about the 9 months of silence, the isolation, the loneliness, the relief of not being criticized, but also the sadness of not having family. Okay, I said finally, we can try. My mother's face lit up. She reached over and squeezed my hand. I squeezed back. We watched the rest of the movie, ate cookies, drank hot chocolate. It felt almost normal, almost like before, but different too. Better maybe. As I was leaving, my father pulled me aside. Amanda, I want you to have this. He handed me an envelope. What is it? Open it when you get home. I drove back to my apartment, opened the envelope. Inside was a check for $100,000. And a note. This is half of what we cleared from selling the house. It's not enough to repay what you did for us, but it's a start. Use it however you want. Save it. Invest it. Donate it. It's yours. Because you saved our home for 5 years when you didn't have to. Thank you, Dad. I sat in my apartment holding that check and cried. Not sad tears, relief tears, gratitude tears. My family wasn't perfect. They'd hurt me. They'd taken me for granted. They'd called me selfish while I quietly saved them. But they were trying now, really trying, and maybe that was enough. It's March now, March 10th, 2026. Exactly 1 year since that Sunday dinner that changed everything. I'm sitting at Marcus's house for Sunday dinner. New tradition. We rotate houses now. This week is Marcus's. Next week is Vanessa's new house. She and Tom bought a place. The week after is my apartment. My parents are there in their new condo, smaller than the house, but they seem happy, more relaxed, less stressed about money. Brian and I are talking again, slowly, carefully, but we're talking. Vanessa's wedding is next month. I'm a bridesmaid. She asked if I'd be okay with that after what happened with Chelsea in that other story, but this is different. Vanessa and I have rebuilt our relationship. The dynamics have changed. No one asks me for money anymore. No one assumes I should pay for things because I make more. We split bills equally or proportionally based on income. Fair, respectful. And when someone needs help, they ask, directly, honestly, and I can say yes or no without judgment. A few months ago, my mom needed help with a medical bill. She called and said, "Amanda, I have a situation. I need help. Can you spare $500? If not, I understand." I said yes, not because I felt obligated, but because I wanted to help. That's the difference now. Choice, respect, visibility. My father was right that day at the coffee shop. The house was just a building. The family is what matters. And I almost lost that over pride and silence. But we're rebuilding, slowly, one Sunday dinner at a time. I don't regret sending that email. Don't regret exposing the truth. Don't regret the 9 months of space. Because that email, as painful as it was, saved my family. Not the house, the actual family. My parents called me selfish for not helping financially. They didn't know I'd been paying their mortgage for 5 years, nearly $200,000, keeping them from foreclosure, saving their house. And when they found out, when the truth came out, everything exploded. Relationships broke, secrets were exposed, apologies were made, but we survived. And we're better now. Not perfect, but better. Would I do it again? Pay the mortgage in secret for 5 years? No, absolutely not. Next time, I'd tell them. I'd speak up. I'd refuse to be invisible, because silence might keep the peace, but it destroys everything else.